Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are on week 7 of flight training, and I have officially hit 20 hours of flight time. And something exciting that actually came in the mail is my student ID. And yeah, it is now official. I'm a student pilot. But let's get straight into it. We are at 20 hours of flight time now. So we're getting there. I think at 40 hours you can sit down with the DPE and actually get that private pilot's license. So we're a little halfway there. I'm feeling almost ready, believe it or not. But alrighty, let's talk about flying. How was flying this week? So we did a lot of flying. We did a cross country flight. So it was my first. I believe a cross country is considered anything over 50 miles one way. So we went from Scottsdale all the way to Tucson, and we flight planned this whole thing using the big sectional. I actually did two cross countries in one day, and to be honest, it was a lot. It was almost too much. I did so it's like a 3 hour block. So you're flying for 3 hours on the way there, and then pretty much 3 hours on the way back. You have to land and stop at that airport, and that's considered your cross country. And I believe you have to do a few of those in order to get your private pilot's license, and then you have to do one solo cross country all by yourself, which I think they're prepping me for right now. I also did my first night flight, and night flying was, I could say that's my favorite thing. Like all ATC is like off, the air traffic controllers are all off, and it's pretty much everybody in their own space just like chatting. They were like, "Oh, do you see that there? Someone's pointing a laser at me. Was that a freaking alien?" I don't know. People were just saying funny stuff. It was just a good time, and it's fun to fly at night. It's way more calm. In my opinion, I feel like learning to fly would probably be best at night. It's just way more chill. Air traffic control, it's not like bombarding your ears. But yeah. Also with the night flying, I experienced like I always heard about like spatial like disorientation, and I thought it was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't really believe in it, I guess, but it's actually a real thing, and I experienced it during the night flight, which I think is that's when it's most like probable. Um, I like you're I don't know. You experience spatial disorientation, and I guess if you haven't experienced it, it's really hard to explain what it is. But your depth perception's like totally off. So that's where you really go based off of your instruments instead of just looking out the window. But also with the flying, I transition airspaces all by myself. I'm getting way better at transitioning through comms. And also I'm learning, I'm flying with a bunch of different instructors, and now I'm really seeing that there's so many different techniques when landing. It's not like there's one way only to land. But yeah, there's just so many different techniques in landing. You could glide over the runway and then take out your power, or some people like right before they get over the runway then they take out their power. And I remember I talked about this in the last video, but I think I like the way where it's like you're coming into land and then you're power idle right before you hit the runway, and then you're like getting that ground effect. I don't know, there's different techniques though. It's not a one way fits all type of thing. You got to find your way and the way you get a feel for that plane best. There's really no best way to land. It's just your personal preference. Anyway, let's get into the cross country planning. This was a lot. This was a lot. And let me run you guys through it. You're so pretty much you're taking your sectional, you're and you have to pin like we did, like I want to say like 8 different points, and then you planning that route depending on how far away they are from one another, and you need to know exactly the true airspeed you're going to go, the true course you're going to go, the magnetic heading you're going to go, the magnetic variation, the ground speed, the distance of each leg, and pretty much calculate on how much fuel you will have burnt on there, and then also the total distance, how long is it going to take, all of that, and also which runway you're gonna take on when you get to the airport. Ultimately, it's just taking everything you've learned. It's like actually flying. It's why you're becoming a private pilot license. If you're trying to go from Scottsdale, Arizona up to Prescott, you need to know on which runway you're going to land. You need to know winds, all that stuff, how much fuel you need to get there, the total distance. Also, you want to know the route that you're going to take, right? And you want to make sure you're flying at an altitude that isn't going to be dangerous. So, learning all of that, that's honestly, from what my instructor said and from what I'm feeling, is that that's the hardest part, is what I just showed you right there. Just planning the whole thing, planning a whole trip from A to Z, and that's really what you're gonna have to do with the DPE and kind of explain to him, I'm assuming, what you're really doing when you are flying and how why you're doing it. So one thing I didn't know is if you're flying east, you have to be going odd. Okay, so an odd 1,000 plus 500. And then if you're flying even, if you're flying west, then you have to be at an even 1,000 plus 500. So that way, when traffic is going by, it's literally dodging. And now, like, it all makes sense. Now, how, like, traffic doesn't really, like, ever crash, right? Because if people going east are flying odd numbers, and then west is flying even numbers, then there's no way you're gonna crash. So I didn't know that, and pretty cool. And that only applies if you're flying above 3,000 above ground level. So yeah. Anyway, I also got my notes down here for transitioning to Class B airspace. They're really prepping me to transition airspaces, everything me talking on the ground, getting a really good feel for flying and prepping me for the solo that I'm assuming is going to happen in like a week or two. But yeah, that's pretty much what we went over the ground. It was a that cross country planning was the is really the bulk of that private pilot license, and it's really what majority of people struggle on. So now I'm like 60% done with it. It seems like I'm like 60% done. I just got to get my solo, my cross country solo, a few more landings here and there, practice my radio calls, and I should have that private pilot's license pretty freaking soon. So for motivation this week, I got vision. Vision. What is having a vision? Vision is the possibility of what could be. So pretty much believing in yourself of what could be. Hopefully I one day I can make it to Delta or American or one of the big dogs, right? Or maybe flying a celebrity. I don't know where this will lead me to, right? But have a vision for what could be. You don't know what where you could land among this thing. You're kind of going into it blindly, and at the end of the day, nobody knows what they're really doing. Not what they're really doing, but where they're going to end up, right? You kind of have to go into this blindly and hoping that you're going to one day land amongst the stars, right? Shoot for the moon because you'll land among the stars type of thing. So, vision is the possibility of what could be. So be visionary. Dream big, dream have dreams, cuz dreams will lead to great success, and hoping you will land amongst one of the successful people in this industry. And another thing that I got written down here is, when was the last time you've actually done something hard? You know, I with this whole pilot thing, I'm really being challenged, and to be honest, I've been at my same career for now 7 years, and I'm so comfortable, and I haven't been challenged. And now that I have this thing challenging me, and it's actually something difficult that I need to study for. I need to put in that extra grind, and it just makes you so much more like ambitious, and that drive is like, you need that drive, right? When was the last time you've done something hard? Challenge yourself, push yourself. Maybe if your instructor tells you to do only this much, you do more than that. You know, you try to get ahead. You stay driven, because that's what's really going to separate you from the rest. And now talking to my instructors, they really say, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but they're like, man, you you put in the extra time in studying compared to the other students. They're like, Ruben, you're one of the easier students to teach because you're interested in this, you're intrigued, right? And my advice to you guys is just push yourself, do something hard, challenge yourself, Whether that's in the gym, maybe try something else. Maybe try to go for a PR. Maybe with in life, with success, maybe try to flip a property, buy something that may be bigger than what you thought you could have, right? That's really what's going to separate you on the, what did they say, on the other side of risk is reward. So pretty much, if there's no risk, there's no reward. So push yourself, stay driven, stay hungry, and we're on week 7, baby. We're about 2 months into this, and private pilot licenses come in soon. I'm really excited, guys. Stay tuned for next week, and peace.